I love the magic elements of Shakespeare's stories. A Midsummer Night's Dream was a play that I love to do because of the magical elements of Puck and Oberon and Titania. And then The Tempest was another story that had a lot of magical elements that I loved. I loved that Prospero could call upon Ariel to do these wonderful tricks, and that he could keep Ariel in these cages and all these things. So, The Tempest, 2001. I had a feeling that this was going to be our last year doing Shakespeare in the Valley. So I decided I would do the show that everyone thinks is Shakespeare's last play, The Tempest. I thought it was kind of a symbolic way to go out, and I really felt that Shakespeare had written the character of Prospero for himself, laying down his magic at the end. And the rehearsal process was actually quite stressful, truth be told. We had a shorter amount of time that year than we had had in any of the other years, and for some reason it just seemed that this play that I had wanted to do for so long caused so much stress and toil because I wanted it to be so perfect. It was the way that I was going to go out with Shakespeare in the Valley. I knew that it was going to be the last year, and I thought, this is the show I'm going to go out on, Shakespeare's last play. Every year we had done Shakespeare. In the 3 previous years, we'd had great weather. It was wonderful. It was beautiful outside. We maybe got rained out once or twice in the whole 2 weeks we performed. And this year we did The Tempest, and of course, because we were doing The Tempest, and at the very beginning of The Tempest, Prospero and Ariel call upon a storm to come and shipwreck the people who end up on the island. We had rain and clouds the whole time. I didn't know what to make out of it, except for the fact that I thought that we must honestly be creating this magic of our own. I just worried that we were going to have rain throughout the entire run of the show. And while we didn't have rain the entire run of the show, we had clouds and thunderstorms intermittently, and cold, chilly weather for the end of July. It was quite unusual. There was one performance in particular, though. It was cold out, it was cloudy, and we didn't know what to expect for that night. And we had an audience of somewhere between 30 and 40 people. And the beginning of the show, we added a scene actually where we actually created the shipwreck and had Prospero and Ariel standing above the audience, above the actors, creating the storm. And I remember this night that Prospero lifted his arms and called upon the storm, and at the exact moment, this huge lightning clap. Lightning and thunder at the same time, and it was, just thinking about it just makes me feel very weird, because it was just this most unusual and significant moment. And it started to rain. In the first little bit, we lost a couple of audience members, but you know, everyone seemed to stay until about halfway through. We lost a few more audience members, and it started to rain harder, and people started pulling out their umbrellas and their blankets and huddling up next to each other. But the most of the audience stayed, and the actors kept performing through the pouring rain, lightning, thunder, pouring rain, and the audience was just so totally enthralled by the play that they stayed to the bitter end. And at the end of the play, the actors came out to do their bows, and the audience just rose to their feet, standing ovation, huge applause, and didn't want to leave. I mean, you'd think it's pouring rain, they've been sitting in the rain forever, they're drenched, or they've been huddled under their umbrellas. You'd think that they would, you know, leave as soon as possible, but they stayed, and they gave standing ovations, and they donated money. Sorry. I just remember that that's why I used to do that. It was for moments like that. That community supported me and my craft and this group of people that I had brought together. And that meant more than any other audience could ever mean to me, because they stayed, and they stayed through the rain.